I mean, every now and then, like, okay, it's back to normal.
It's back to normal. Okay, good.
Yes.
Good.
Okay.
All
Okay, good.
right.
So I can probably chop that out. Ready? Do
Yes.
3, 2, 1. All right, YouTube, how you doing? This is Sensei Rick, and I'm here with my special guest, wmpyr. And
Hello.
today we're going to be talking about Hokutonoken.
All right. Man, I could
All
hear
right,
the
man.
music. I could
Oh,
hear the
dude,
music.
I could hear I hear the like dun 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 dun, dun, like oh man. But yeah, so why don't we get started with that? The music is just let's just right from the beginning.
Oh
Hokuto no
yeah.
Ken. I mean, that is probably one of the greatest animes that's ever been. Maybe I don't want to offend anybody, but it's just a great anime, and a
Absolutely.
lot of stuff has been it's influenced so many
Yes.
things.
Yes. Yes.
Started in about the 80s. So
Mm-hmm.
you want to get into it a little bit?
Sure.
You read it when you were a kid. So why don't you tell us about that?
Yes, okay, so it is a very popular in the 80s. It was that and Kinnikuman. Those two were the most popular manga, became anime, became animated movie, and even a live action movie. and that's what
Oh
I'm
wow.
aware of. Yeah, and uh, to put it simply, it takes place in a post-apocalyptic world. So think Mad Max, right? The Road Warrior. Think something like that. With a very strong emphasis, the main character is like this martial artist, but the style that he does is insane. He touches people, hits pressure points, and they blow up. Yes, they
Oh man,
blow
yes.
up. So
Oh yes.
yeah,
Oh, and he's got his like awesome lines like "You're already dead."
yeah.
Like he says it in Japanese, so like
That's
he
right.
says it so awesome.
お前はもう死んでいる.
Yes. Oh yes.
So,
So what else? Like so we've got it. It's a manga
mhm.
that went in and it became a TV show. Did
Yes.
that happen instantaneously? Did that happen concurrently, or was it a manga first and then it was so successful? Did they create the TV show afterwards?
Yes.
How did
Yes.
that work?
That's always how it is. First, a manga has to reach a certain popularity, and this one I think instantly because one of the things about the manga was the artwork was superb. Yes, the story's unique, super unique, but the artwork was one of the first things that'll catch your eye. Is compared to a lot of the other manga at the time, the way it was drawn was very detailed. Like there would be skyscraper buildings in the background that were destroyed and whatnot, and just the detail of all that.
Yeah, the one with the boat.
Yeah, in the movie there was the one
Skyscraper
with the
with the
boat,
boat.
and yeah, the Kenshiro himself with all the muscles and everything. I mean, it wasn't the stylized anime or manga, so to speak. It was more made to look realistic, right?
I remember that. I remember even like street lamps and
Mm.
like the cars,
Yes.
door handles. Everything looked like I was looking at a photographed image of something. I wasn't looking at that. Yeah, and the way I say that is because you can look at a photograph with a magnifying glass, and you can find so many details. That's how I felt about that Hokuto no Ken.
Yeah.
My first experience with it was watching the full movie from '87.
Yes. Yes.
When that movie came out, because here in the United States, unless you had a satellite dish, you weren't able to watch the episodes that were going on from the '80s, which was '84 to '87.
Okay.
There were about 100 and something episodes. I think, like, what do we count? Like 109, 110, around there.
All right.
For the original Hokuto no Ken,
Yes.
and then there's Hokuto no Ken 2, which
That's
is
right.
we can get into that a little later.
Right.
But so my experience was that was the first time I had ever seen a movie.
The artwork,
with so much detail. The artwork was amazing. The music.
Number away. 2. The music blows you away. It's phenomenal. Is that it?
And then it was violent. It wasn't like a cartoon. Like you're watching a cartoon and expecting not to see blood or gore, people's eyes getting ripped out. I mean, the guy's head explodes. He touches him here, and
right.
amazing, amazing. Just I fell in love with it right from the start.
The ultra violence and like you said, the artwork, the music, but then on top of that, uh, there's a very interesting story about the whole martial arts style, the lineage, how it's passed on, the rival styles. And then they also, and this is in a post-apocalyptic world where it's perfect to host all of that kind of craziness. But then there's a love story there too, so it has everything.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that.
Right?
So let's get into that because there's
all right.
Basically it's broken up into these story arcs where you have the I think 3 main story arcs, and we can break it up into our 3 main story arcs, but on the web people have broken it up into
way more.
Each of those
way
3
easy.
they break it up into
Right.
into deeper and deeper. But for our purposes, we've got the story of the love story between Ken and Julia.
Yes.
Which his main rival in this arc is Shin.
Yes.
And in the second story arc, we see the story of Ken looking for his brother, which he has 4 brothers. And
right.
so in the second story arc, he's looking for one of his brothers who's been imprisoned.
Yes.
And so that's the Cassandra arc.
Right.
That's the name of the martial arts prison. Is called the Cassandra.
Yes.
And in the third arc, we see the battle between the oldest brother and Ken. So that's the story of Rao, or the
right.
Rao arc.
Right,
Rao.
right.
Rao, and they span many dozens of episodes.
Oh yeah,
between each arc.
Each one
of
those is
volumes of mangas.
Tons of stuff. Yeah, but big divisions. I agree with you. Yeah. So the first arc is where Ken loses his girl, is taken away from him in this crazy new post-apocalyptic world where everything has been thrown off balance, and so he is the what do you call it? The person who receives the martial art style.
He's the successor.
He's the successor.
That's right. 2,000-year-old style, and
right.
You know, off camera, for a while we've been emailing each other. We got into this a little bit. I wanted to talk about it. You know, just briefly, we could spend maybe 30 seconds on it. We discovered that it could be a legitimate real style in real life. You know, I don't want to say too much, but we were on the quest for what is Hokutonoken in real life. You know, that's how obsessed we are. I think I became a martial artist because of this cartoon.
Yes.
You know, I don't know if that's the reason why, but it's on a list of movies and stuff that I watched that influenced me. So
we were at first.
You mentioned it.
Thinking rapid hand style, because that's what he does. Ken, the main character, is known for this incredible. He's throwing like 100,000 shots in like
an incredible precision.
Yes,
too.
And he's like it's like all these fists and everything flying at the guy. So we thought like American Kempo karate, something with rapid fire hands.
Kempo.
Right, Kempo.
First thing that jumps out of me.
But then
maybe Wing Chun or something.
Or,
you know, but,
right, Wing Chun with the chain punch. It was something where you're just throwing like hundreds of shots within a fraction of a second, just bursting, something like that, right?
But none of those had the, you know, they all had rapid punches. They had all that, but none of them had assassin in the style, assassin art.
And I found a style, and it was like, it's a karate style that broke off of Gichin Funakoshi's system. And this master, he created an assassin style, and he's not a big dude, and he said it was specifically for that, and it targets pressure points. It only targets weak points, and then it talked about his daughter was actually the successor, and she was talking about her father was always training the fingertips, the old school way, and then talked about how deep you insert the finger into the opponent, it determines like how long he has to live. So I mean, this is almost exactly
Oh, exactly.
So
I mean, it sounds like you're talking about a Hokutonoken episode. Is what it
I
sounds like.
think it was based on because she was talking about they could die or they could be injured days later. So to me,
yes.
I think Hokutonoken was based off of this style, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah.
So it's right, but
and so again, it's something that we don't have any proof.
No.
That this is a style. It's all speculation. It's all something that we were just kind of trying to brainstorm and say, hey, how does this relate to something in real life? Because there are other styles in the arc, in the story arcs. You see so many different styles, especially the Cassandra story arc.
Oh yeah,
where all those different martial artists are going up against the main guy with the whips, Uyghur.
Weagle, yeah.
Man, he's got those whips, and he's, that's a whole awesome. We could spend hours on that.
Yes, we could. That was a good fight too.
That's something that I love all the different martial arts and how they just explain them and put a lot of detail. You can see in the animation and the drawing how you can see the guy standing with a stance, or they're not all just standing generically.
No.
They take the time to really specialize each one of these.
And they showcase a lot of different styles in there, but it really comes down to, at least in the Hokutonoken 1, it comes down to the Hokuto style, which Hoku means northern, right? And then the Nanto style, which is the southern style. So the Hokuto Shinken is the one northern style. It's just one style that is passed on from one successor to the next. Only one successor. They make a big deal that only one. So the other brothers that he's training with, they're all going to lose that capability to use the art, which means they're going to remove your fingers or they're going to take out your brain to where you can't function and use the...
That's right.
And so everyone's like... So there was like, 5 people competing to learn and become the successor, master the art, and only one of them gets...
I think he had 4 brothers, but yeah.
Okay, 4
they're
guys.
All competing.
Yeah.
But one of them was really, really bad guy.
Evil.
He was kind of crazy.
Okay, you're talking about Jaggy?
Yes, Jaggy.
Okay,
Jaggy was just like a bad apple from the start.
Right.
You've got the oldest brother, Raul, and he's like ambition. He's just got it all. You've got the second oldest brother is a really good heart, good mind, everything, but something tragic happens to him, so he can't succeed. His body, he gets sick. So then it's left to Jaggy and Ken. Ken is the youngest, the smallest. He's like the runt, but he learns everything.
It becomes Ken. Yeah.
He even learns the what was that? The Fist of Sadness, the Muso Tensei.
Oh the ultimate technique.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I don't want to go into a million details. I can go into a million details.
Yes, you can.
But but this is just so awesome. So we've got, let's see, Hokutonoken, a great story about a guy that's wandering through a kind of a lot like what we just did, that Lone Wolf and Cub.
Yeah.
A guy that's wandering on his own. He's lost everything.
And he's getting forged. As he's traveling, he becomes tougher. It's his training as he travels and goes through battles. Yeah.
And it's almost like his destiny, because he talks a lot about it.
It is his destiny. Yeah.
And people, he's such a, he's not a lot of words, Ken Shido, the main character, but the villagers, that's where you kind of see the pieces come together, because the villagers talk about the destiny of the Hokuto successor, and where he goes, trouble follows, or he follows trouble. So he's always going to be in the center of the trouble. So he's like the
Yes.
eye of the hurricane.
Well, he's an assassin, right? He's a trained
Yeah,
assassin. What do you expect, kind of
yeah,
thing? Yeah. So they
yeah,
kind of fear him. Which, if anyone knows his style, they go, oh, you usually, unless they're ignorant, and some
yeah.
are, or a lot
Oh,
of them.
and he's got. We got to talk about the scars. He's got 7 scars on his body. So in the first arc, his main villain, who is the Fist of the South Star, he's Fist of the North Star. So the Fist of the South Star, Shin, that guy, he takes Ken's girl. He does all the worst of the worst. He's his best
Yes.
friend, but he puts those fingers in him, kind of like the way we were talking about that real life assassin style. And
Yeah.
Shin is able to put his fingers in Ken and makes the Big Dipper
Right. Right. Because that
star
is
pattern on Ken's chest.
that because
Yeah.
that Big Dipper is their constellation for the Hokutonoken. That is so
Got it.
that's their
Yeah.
mark. Yeah. That and for the Southern style, it's the Southern Cross, right? It's the
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that so that's their
And
constellation. Yeah.
yeah, so and each of these southern generals or
There's
Nanto
6, right?
warriors, yes, they each have like I think a star that pertains to them. So
Uh-huh.
really, really amazing the cosmology. You've
Yeah.
got the heavens above, the earth, and these players in between. There's a lot of the way it's well written. They talk about orbits and the heavenly bodies. And
Yes.
but let's talk a little bit about Hokutonoken 2
All
because there
right. All
is
right.
a part 2,
Yes.
and a lot of people may or may not know that, and it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
The animation changed a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened there? Did they kind of figure out like, hey, we're making all this money. Let's just keep the money train going, or was it really genuine? Did they love the series? What changed? Because the kids got older.
Yes, I think the story ended, and that's what it was intended. But like you're saying, it was so popular, they decided let's do a part 2. And I think you also noticed that the manga and the animation, it changes with the times. So at first, I felt like Kenshiro was Mad Max plus Bruce Lee combined. So if you watch like when he goes up against the military guys,
Oh,
the God Army,
totally. Yeah,
he's just like Bruce Lee from Enter the
yeah, you
Dragon.
nailed it.
Yeah,
That's him.
right. But
Yeah,
then later on, towards the end of Hokutonoken 1, and or when we're already going into Hokutonoken 2, like when he's going up against Falco and stuff, that was modeled after, to me, Rocky.
yes, I
Yeah,
remember
Rocky
you said that.
4
And
was out at the time,
yeah,
I remember. And
yeah,
I mean, so he
yeah, because
actually,
he's got the beard. Stallone had the beard. Stallone was all like, like major stud, like
yeah,
yeah, like.
super
And
built. Yeah,
Kenshiro has the beard. Just
yeah.
waking up from that slumber. Yeah,
Ken was always super muscular, but when you watch the older stuff, he looked more like a normal guy, and then he would like hulk up, and then his clothes would
yeah.
burst. But later on, like in the Hokutonoken 2, he's already like huge. So he looks
Oh man.
way, and I think once again that's the Sylvester Stallone influence. And I
And
also,
the villains in Hokutonoken 2 were even like deadlier.
yeah, yeah, that's right,
Like it,
because they go to the Shura no Kuni, which
they go to Shura, so
yeah,
that's like the homeland of all the origin. I mean, Hokutonoken 2 kind of does the origin story. So, but I'd say we're running out of time here for our. We've got a 20-minute limit, but Hokuto no Ken 2 does a good origin story for
yes,
Hokuto no Ken because it
that's
talks
right,
about the beginning, where they come
yes,
from, the brothers. They're even related. They have like first cousins and
right,
other brothers, aunts and uncles, and there's a whole royal family. Really, really amazing stuff. I'd say that you have to watch it.
yeah,
Hokuto no
yeah.
Ken 2. And I
If
think there's like 40, 50 episodes of Hokuto no Ken 2. It's about half of part 1. but it's worth watching. 'Cause
It's
it
really
just
good.
talks.
Part
Oh
two,
yes,
and the villain is even, more powerful than Raul.
oh yeah,
And
yeah. And these
and
guys are larger than life. I mean, really, like 15 feet tall people. There's people that are as big as a locomotive train.
yeah,
There's and you name it, it's in there. And
yeah.
so we're here on our limit. But I'd like to say that this is probably my favorite of all time anime.
Cool.
I don't know, Vampire. How do you feel? Is this one of your
Oh
favorite
man,
animes of
I
all time?
100%. It has the biggest influence on me. Yeah, growing
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
without a doubt. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I mean, because when I met you, you were like, you were like Ken Cheeto and Bruce Lee mixed together.
I
So
was
you
trying to
were
be.
like, yeah, dude. So
I was
yeah,
trying to be.
and I mean, I was trying to be like a cool Ken Cheeto dude too, except I'm 5'3". But yeah, so this is our take on Hokutonoken.
Yes.
Um, with my special guest Vampire.
Thank you
Catch
for
him on
having
his
me.
channel.
Yeah.
Amazing channel, amazing content,
Thank you.
great martial arts content, movie reviews, stuff. So yeah, check us out next week. We'll be trying to do something new.
Yes.
We're always going to try something new.
Yes, we
All
will.
right. See you guys next time. Thanks
All
a lot.
right. Vampire out.
Bye bye.